it's Christmas time. I have my Christmas tree. And welcome back. Today, I want to talk about my US Citizenship Interview. They call it the Naturalization Interview. If you are a green card holder for at least 3 years, you are qualified to apply for US citizenship. And that's what I did. I went to the USCIS website, download the form. It's called N400. Fill it out with all correct information. I paid the filing fee of I think it's 670. And I mailed it back to them. It happened last year, that was March of 2018. It took like almost a year before I heard from them. I had a letter that was this year saying that I have a schedule for my interview. And I got excited about that. So, this interview is different because you have to take a test. They have to know that you know something about America. And what are these tests? You will take the reading test, you will take the writing test, and you will take the civics test. For the civics test, you will have 100 questions. 100 questions. They have a copy of the questions again in the website. It's all over the YouTube, the internet. You can listen to it. You can watch it. So there is all the chances for you to be able to study. So when my time arrived, that was March of 2019, and it was my time to go to my interview, we went to that center there. So there was this huge waiting room wherein all applicants have to wait. Then out of this door will come the interviewing officer. He will call out your name, and then you just have to follow him inside to his office where the interview will occur. So when my name was called, I stood up and I followed him to his office. And then while I was following him, he started his conversation with me like, how are you today? How did you get here? How was the weather? So just this normal small talk until we arrived at his office. And then we formally started by taking a pledge that I will answer the truth to the best of my knowledge. So basically the first thing he pulled out was just my N400 that I filled out. It was just confirming my answers there, if I wrote that, if that was my answers, and I said yes. Then after that, he said, we will start with the test. I said, yes, sir. So he started with the reading test. So what is this reading test? There was an iPad that's fastened on top of his table, facing me, and he can also twist it so that the iPad can face him. So there was this question on the iPad written, and he told me to read it. What state has the most population? I read it, and that was the sentence. What state has the most population? And he nodded at me, and he said, well, let's get on to your writing test. I said, yes, sir. So for the writing test, he dictated to me the sentence, and I have to write it on the iPad again. So this is what he dictated. California is the state with most population. So while I was listening to him, I wrote it down in the iPad. California is the state with most population. Then I said, I'm done. And then he twisted around, facing him the iPad, and he looked at that and he said, okay. Then he said, let's go on to the civics test. So his first question for the civics test was, I wrote it down. I cannot remember exactly the sequencing of the question, but I do remember all 6 questions that he threw at me. Who is in charge of the executive branch? President. What is the name of the President of the United States now? Donald Trump. What are the 2 major political parties in the US? Republican and Democratic Party. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president? 18 years old and older. When do we celebrate Independence Day? The 4th of July. What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution. So, when I answered all these 6 questions, he stopped because you're only required to answer 6. So, I successfully made it. Then, he took out a piece of paper. Then, he started marking the piece of paper. Then, he showed it to me. And he said, you pass your reading test, you pass your writing test, you pass your civics test. So, he told me that I will receive a letter from them, what to do next. But he also told me that it will be an oath taking. It will be an oath taking, so I just have to wait for when will it be. I have to wait for the letter in the mail. So I gladly took the paper that he checked, meaning to say that I passed all 3 tests. And then I said thank you, and I said goodbye. And he asked me if there is any questions that I want to ask him. And I said, yes, sir. So he said, okay, what is that question? I said, how did you get the job? He's a very young guy. I believe he is just like in his 20s, maybe 25 or 26. He's a cool guy, very cool. Yeah, very nice guy. So anyway, so he answered me. We have a conversation again as we were walking out the office and back to the waiting room. He's a cool guy. So when I get back to my husband in the waiting area, my husband was like, did you make it? Did you make it? I said, yes, I did. I passed. I made it. So we were so happy about that I made it. Because you know what, guys? You know the 100 questions. But the thing is, there is anxiety. There is nervousness. So you cannot just delete that. It's boiling inside like, oh, what will happen if I have a mental blackout, or I cannot even remember the answer because I'm just so nervous about of all these things going on. But fortunately, everything went really smooth. My nervousness and my anxiety while I was there in the office only lasted for 5 seconds. And I was really feeling at ease with my interviewing officer. He is really a nice guy. So, after 2 weeks since that date of my interview, I got a letter again from the USCIS saying that I have to take my oath taking. So even if I pass the test, the letter said, even if you pass your test, you have not yet completed the process if you are not going to take your oath. So it was scheduled on March 26, 2019. I went to the oath-taking ceremony. It was very I was so excited about it. And then you can just feel when you got in there that they decorated the hall and there were families there, and it's very emotional. It's very emotional when you took the oath and you become a US citizen. And guys, it's a life. It's an experience that I cannot forget. And then they gave you your certificate of naturalization, and then you take you take the oath. We were like, I think There's a lot of us there who took the oath. So, guys, there's always hope. There's always chance. If God will it, it will happen. And I'm so glad I am a citizen of this wonderful country and planet Earth. Thank you. If you like my video, you hit the like, and then if you want to subscribe, you hit the subscribe button out there. Thank you so much for being with me. Although it took a while until I come up with the second video, but it's there. See ya.